Welcome to the CMAM database, online CMAM database orientation. My name is Diane Bake, the Nutrition Technical Advisor for the Nutrition Center of Expertise of the Global and Wash team. I will be giving you a brief overview of our online CMAM database, and we will be going through the limitations of the traditional methodology of collecting and monitoring the CMAM data and our programs, going through the different kinds of functions that our online database offers, the benefits of using the database, and rolling out the dates and future plans for our online database and online demonstration of the database. And then we'll be going through some discussion questions. Start off with the limitation of the traditional CMAM database. Many times, monitoring is overlooked after rolling out or implementing a program. And this isn't just commonly found in CMAM, but we've been finding it for a lot of our programs. And what is we want to conduct evaluations on monitoring our program. And find that, monitoring is what we really need to invest into in order to improve the quality of our programs so that the from final evaluations are even better than what they are right now. So we want to really invest into monitoring of our programs. And the thing about CMAM is that the monitoring indicators are already well established, unlike other nutrition programs. And so the monitoring indicators are well established. What we're using these indicators is we've been collecting the data using pen and paper, and then staff would be entering them into an Excel spreadsheet weekly and a monthly basis. However, there were many limitations with the collection of data using pen and paper and then entering into an Excel spreadsheet. First was that it's very time-consuming and prone to human error. It would be a very long time to enter the data on the Excel spreadsheets, and prone to human error because the entering of the data it's something that when I'm entering data, a lot of data at one time, there's a lot of errors that we make. And what we would commonly find is the total number of children at the end of the week or the end of the month did not equal the total number of children at the start of the week for the next week or for the next month. So there's consistency like that. And you let's say 5 children were admitted into the program, but then the breakdown of the female and male would be 2. And 7 and 2 equals 9, but there were 5 children that were admitted into the program during the week. Then there's an error there, but the humans were the ones entering the data onto the Excel spreadsheet. The spreadsheet would not capture or would be able to track the errors. The challenge has been in analyzing the data, as I mentioned before. So a lot of our field staff, they collect data, but they never use it again. They collect it and then they report, and that's why they collect the data. It's not really to help them to monitor the programs and to improve the quality of the program. So that has been another huge challenge. And so traditional annual report writing, it would take a lot of time to write it. And used to generating graphs, it would take a very long time for field staff to generate these, to develop graphs. And it wouldn't be correct either. They a lot of times many people confuse what should go into the independent variable, what should go into the dependent variable, how to create graphs. They're not very sure. So that has been a challenge. Has been that because CMAM programs are very resource intensive, most times they are grant funded or they are special projects. And what happens a lot of times are the staff that are involved with the CMAM program, they leave as soon as the grant finishes. And ideally, we would want to retain those staff, but sadly, the fact that we lose them and they are even relocated to another area for CMAM program in World Vision. And so, along with these frequent staff turnovers, we lose a lot of reports and data. And yeah, they leave and their computers get reset, and we don't have to retain everything. So that has been a big challenge as well. And the data never gets fed back to the program level where the real difference in program quality can be. We mentioned this previously. This is a challenge that we face. Yeah, partially it may be our fault. When we collect data and then we report, we help the field staff to analyze the data and get to the nitty-gritty of, so what does this mean for the program? How do we program now that we know certain things about it? Look at. So yeah, the data actually never gets fed back to the field, and we don't provide them with any feedback. Challenge is in input for internal and external requests of CMAM data at the regional, national, and global level. So our CMAM staff, they go out to the field, and when they're out in the field, they don't really have access to email. So let's say, for example, our offices, their donor asked for progress reports, or they have a potential donor and they want to know what are the listing rates like in a certain country that is on. And we're using Excel spreadsheets. Our support office will have to contact the national office contact the region, then the province contacts the AD, and then the ADP would then go out to the field, collect data, and then to get all fed back to the top. And this would take sometimes up to several months to get this data. And then the donor has gone to another geo, or they've lost interest in CMAM programming, and so lose the donors. So yeah, they're a big challenge. So as World Vision's CMAM program began expanding, it became two adaptations of using the Excel database and the standard indicators across the World Vision partnership. So different countries started using different indicators with World Vision, and we realized, okay, it would be nice to standardize the indicators to address these limitations, because it's not just one country or two countries that are facing these limitations. It was practically all of our countries that were facing these same limitations. And so I developed this CMAM online database in March 2010 and launched it. Functionalities that the online CMAM database and the first is inputting of monthly or weekly tally sheets. Countries, they input the tally sheets on a weekly basis. Some they input by in a monthly basis. And this usually is the used feature for our field staff and also for some of our provincial level staff. And then generate the reports is the second functionality. So it can generate reports and graphs, and this could be monthly reports, and it can also be summary reports, and some reports for whatever duration that you want to track it for. So if you want an annual report, you can use from whatever month and year to whatever month and year. It doesn't have to be from January to December. It can be by fiscal year. So let's say October to September. Yeah, and you can generate it for this level, district level, regional level, or the national level. And you can generate these at a click of a button. The functionality is you can export the data to Excel. And we'll go about the benefits of functionality later. The homepage of our online CMAM database, and you can see there are 3 buttons here: the sheet inputs, reports, and raw data. And you can see the same 3 functionalities in the top tabs. So there's the tally sheet input tab, and raw data tab. And you just click on those in order to use the functions. Of using our online CMAM database is that it directly allows you to generate reports and graphs, and it automatically does all the calculations for you. So it's already decreased the amount of human error made by using the online database, and the quality could be assessed, and you can also use the reports and the graphs that are generated to predict future trends, and especially for future resource acquisition needs. So one example is in South Sudan, we're looking at this data, but we were comparing the trends the last 3 years, and we were able to see during dry seasons there would be a very huge increase in the admission levels, and there would be 2 to 3 months later we would see very big number of exits in the program, and predict how much RUTF we should possibly prepare for the dry season. And it was very interesting to compare the trends over the 3 years to see whether there were improvements in the admission rates, improvements in the GAM rates, and what correlation is with the admissions and the exits of the second benefit is that it provides timely input to all internal and external requests for program data and reports. Since everything's accessible online 24/7, so you don't need to rely on the field staff to go out and collect all the data so that we have the most with our donors or for our own purposes. Yeah, so this has been fantastic for most of our support office staff and our global and regional level staff. That the data is able to be retained within the partnership, even with the frequent turnovers, and we are also trying to decrease the number of turnovers by, and I'll share how we are trying to do this later on. But yes, now we are able to retain all the data even with frequent staff turnovers. And there have been many cases even with computer problems and people losing our data with their crashing or stuff. So it's difficult to be retain all that data into location. Exporting of the raw data into Excel is helpful for further analysis because we use other statistical softwares to be able to analyze the data further. And this also creates further opportunities for future operational research projects. And feedback from some national offices who are using the database in order to conduct operational research projects. A feature is that flags inaccurate or incorrect data, that data seems incorrect. So this addresses frequent human error in entering data. And as I mentioned, it also automatically calculates totals and the cure, death, default, and responder rates as well. And so you don't have to calculate those on your own anymore. You just graph and the reports automatically, and it's calculated for you. So that's a very interesting feature. The example that are about, let's say, 5 children were admitted into the program that month, but then the total of 7 females, and so there were 9 children actually admitted, then they would be flagged on an online database, and it would say this is inconsistent, and we could fix it. Quantitative indicators on the online database also closely align with the Ministry of Health in the countries that have mainstreamed CMAM into that primary healthcare system. And so, this facilitation of integrating the Ministry of Health system with our database, and in some countries, the Ministry of Health has adopted our database, and they're using our database to monitor their CMAM program. For the rollout of our CMAM database, the CMAM database was rolled out in 11 countries, and you can see the list of the 11 countries here. At the end of FY13, we are hoping that it will be rolled out in 15 countries in total, including Chad, Mali, Sierra Leone, and Senegal. So those are plans. So these are features that we want to include into our online database, and we are looking into funding from countries. One of the top priority things is including a data validation system. So now there is no data validation system. As soon as data entered online, it's uploaded online for everyone to see who has access to that country's data. And so we have some challenges where, say, someone meant to write 300, but they accidentally added a 0 and it became 3,000. And the next day they went and they saw the mistake and they corrected it. But in that 24-hour time period, generated reports for that country, and the numbers were off by 2,100. And so, sorry, that support office staff didn't know that the number was corrected the next day. They had already generated the report, so they used that for the annual report. So trying to avoid by including a data validation system where a higher level have to view the data before it's uploaded online for everyone to see. So, this will help with monitoring and improving the quality of the data that's being entered in online. And tracking blanket supplementary feeding programs and our UTF usage and other medical supply usage. We are trying to track this as well. And we're trying to include capacity building and mobilization indicators. And so one of the that we want to track is tracking of the different staff that have been trained in different CMAM activities, and then also recording their competencies. And by this, we want to have a list of staff that are trained in certain activities and know their competencies. We want to send them to train, let's say, another ADP that's starting to implement CMAM. And we can send that has been trained in communalization from another ADP to that new ADP and the training instead of external consultants, or then we would use our staff to help support the external consultants if we do bring in the consultants. And at the same time, we now have a list of our staff who have been trained in certain activities. We would then be able to, once, let's say, ADP finishes their grant, we can then transfer them to another ADP, and we know which staff exactly has been trained. So we try to retain those staff. We also want to include the nutrition survey data from, let's say, SMART surveys. So we want to be able to examine SAM rates in the survey reports so that we could get our understanding and analyze the data better. Be able to automatically calculate the average weight gain and the average length of stay. And right, all of this needs to be done by pen and paper, by hand, because collecting not level data, but a collective level. So we can't automate these two indicators yet, but exploring mobile technologies. So collecting data using mobile phones for tracking individual level data. And once we are able to do this, then we would be able to automate average weight gain and average length of stay. Learning is integrating the CMAM database to Horizon. So for those of you who don't know what Horizon is, Horizon is the platform that World Vision, the ownership, is using to upload the annual and semi-annual reports. So trying to integrate CMAM with this platform called Horizon. But this is top priority right now because Horizon is still in phases 2, especially after launching the new platform. So we will hopefully be able to do this in the coming years, but we'll be trying to add these items first, the ones more up on the list. So I will be giving a practical demonstration of the database, and you can see it here. It's wvncoe.org. So you don't have to add the www dots in front. Actually, if you do, it doesn't work. The username that you'll use is your first name _ your last name with the password. If you have not received your name and password yet, you need to fill out the template for username and password request form, and then send it to me, and then I will create it for you. My email address is Diane, DANE _ Bake, AIK, worldvision.ca. Now, www.ncoe.org. So this is what it looks like, which we saw earlier. You can see the 3 buttons here for tally sheet input, reports, and raw data. So I'll give you a brief orientation. So we'll go into entry. What district the health site or the OP is in that is the data for. So let's go to Decoral. Also go to Decoral. ADP. Enter in the epidemiological week that you're entering the data for. For data OTP. All the health sites, all the OTP sites under the ADP. So in this ADP, we have 1 OTP site. So you would, the field staff would enter in the total number of children that were admitted into the OTP, who were entered using D criteria or weight for height, MUAC, other, and so on. And enter in the number of children that were cured, who died, defaulted, and non-recovered, referred to an SC or referred to another site. In the total number of children at the start of the week or the start of the month. In RC and OVC, this one, you don't have to worry about it right now. RC stands for Registered Children, and OVC stands for Orphan and Vulnerable Children. I included these because our sponsorship department wanted to know how many children being and were from were included in CMAM and OVC children were being admitted into the CMAM program. So that, and we have the total number of relapse cases, how many children have HIV, and the total number of males. Then we click, and it would automatically calculate the total number of children at the start of the week or the month, the total number of children at the exited the program at the end of the month or the week, and then automatically calculate the total number of females as well for you. So this is completed, but then be carried forward. So let's demonstration. Children were admitted using. There's 1 child at the start of the month. The total male was 2. Okay. Now you see that from previous inputted data, and that number is being carried forward here. 12 children at the start of the previous week, and that's why it replaced entered in with 12. And here there's all 3 children that were at the start of the week. And then at the end of the week, there were 15 children that were admitted. And we put males and automatically calculated 1 female. Go into week 4. Fresh. 15 total at the end of the previous week has been carried forward to the start of the week for this week 4. Also, you to select the flag function. Let's say 1 child was admitted with MUAC, and a total of 20 children were cured. That was one male. Then a message pops up saying incorrect admissions or exit counts. There are more exits than admissions. So we had 15 children at the start of the week, and one child was admitted, new child. So total there's 16 admitted, and we all of a sudden say 20 children were cured. And so there's more children who exited than the number of children that were cured, so it flags the data. Okay. Here is called historical data. Please do not use this. We tried to develop where you could just upload the Excel spreadsheets online, and then it would automatically be included. All the data would be included online. But the feature, it failed to work because every time a site name is correct, it's differently. It would develop a new health, and so that wasn't very accurate. And we realized even with those softwares, this function doesn't work 100%. So we decided we should this functionality and invest into strengthen our other functions. So please do not use this. And we want to generate the report graphs. Functionality that many of us will be using. And so I will give you an example using Pakistan. So see, you can generate the graph for Pakistan by just selecting Pakistan. 2011 till 2012, let's say. December. So this is a summary report for the 2 years of Pakistan CMAM programming. And we for OTP. All the way down to the health site, then you would have to select the region, district, division, and then the site. You can select by support office as well. Okay. We would click and save summary. You click generated in Excel. So that's a tour of children at the beginning of the week was 972. Number of admissions was 16,976 over the 2 years. The care default non-recovered rates. And you can put standards here. You can average weight and average length of stay are left for you to delete on your own, and then and say the RETF consumption right now it's left empty, and you can enter in those numbers yourselves. You can see that this program, it's for this report is generated for 2-year program, 2011 to 2012, the duration we selected. Then it's for the reporting on 67 OTP care sites or and it includes data from 2 different provinces. The first graph that it generates is called SPMC graph. You can see the cure trends, the default, death, and non-recovered trends here. You can see the numbers here on the right. And the second called mentioned exits and registered in CMAM program. So here you can track the total number of admissions, total exits, and then the total number of children in the program. So we can see that there was a increase in the number of children in the program. So there are more children being admitted and fewer children being exited. And then in January of 2012, and then it's slowly decreasing. So the children's number of exits started decreasing, and then there was a huge drop in of August to about November. And so, was there a sudden decrease, a break in the program? Was there a lack of funding for during that time period? We analyzed the data. You can see two pie charts, the total number of discharges and then the total number of the total percentage exits. And so it's one also includes the total number, the referrals, and just for the students does not include the referrals. So very important. The two different, very important for looking at state measures, the SC data, because most times in SC, the exits are in the referrals. They're referred to OTPs rather than being cured. And if we're only looking at the discharge graph, then we see low rates of birth. But and if we have this discharge graph, we would conclude, oh, this SC is doing a terrible job. They need to improve the quality. But if we look at the referrals, we may see a very big number of referral cases to OTP, because most times children SCs are referred to OTPs. They're not actually cured in the stabilization center. So that's why we included this other graph called exits, where it also includes the referrals. So you would generate the report in the graph. Last functionality is the raw data, where you can export it into Excel. Let's look at Pakistan. And the raw data exported into Excel. So let's do one, 2011, January to December, OTP. Do a quick search. And all of that is below here. Export it, you would click Save. Click the Excel spreadsheet. And there. So data is generated into Excel, and we'll use this for further statistical analysis, such as SPSS. Yeah. So month means, like, 1 would mean January, 2 would mean February, and so on. This is actually for epidemiological week. Or if you know how to use epidemiological weeks. Yeah. But the support office and global center staff who look at the overall trends used to be too concerned with the week. Focus on the month. So that brings us to an end for origin of the CMAM database. Common questions that people ask are, so who enters the data? Data is usually entered by our staff who have access to, and sometimes it's entered by our provincial level staff in national offices. But one of the criteria requirements would be they need to have access to internet. And so entering the data online hasn't been a challenge. It hasn't been difficult. We are being, when we do get the mobile technology incorporated, that we don't need to rely on internet. We could use mobile connection networks to upload the data online. And if that is the case and we start collecting data at the individual child level, then we wouldn't have to enter in all sheets. We could just automatically calculate the support something from the individual child level. Question or difficult in the field is the Ministry of Health or UNICEF formats to our indicators. Example. And here you that in the admissions we have included the criteria being admitted by Ignite, MUAC, other from SC, returning after default, and from other sites. Some countries, they only admit children through MUAC, so they have this weight indicator. But our system, we have weight for height. So for the countries that don't have weight for height, they could just blank for weight and just enter it all into MUAC. Aren't so of a problem. But what we do find some challenges, the referral to SC and referral to other sites for access. In most countries, that refer to SC and refer to other sites is combined into one indicator. So our staff don't know which indicator to put it into, either to SC or to other sites. An agreement needs to be made at the national office level and decide whether to input that data into refer to SC or to other sites. And they send COE a note that all the numbers for refer to SC or other sites is being included into refer to SC or refer to other sites. Most times, when are referred, are they mostly referred to SCs or are they mostly referred to OTPs? And they usually answer saying that they're most times referred to SC. In where there's a lot of migration, they do this to OTPs, but in cases it is to SC. They affect our monthly reports in giving and the reports because we kind the one indicator to inpatient or outpatient. The summary parts, it doesn't really matter too much. So if other questions, you could contact me at diane_bake@worldvision.ca. And if you would like to request for a username and password for our database as well, you can contact me and I will let you know the process we need to go through in order for you to obtain one. So thanks for listening. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and talk to me if you have any questions. Thank you.